Hi and welcome back to Love English. I'm Leila and today I'm teaching you nothing. That's right, I'm not going to be teaching you anything. Instead, I've got a guest on our channel, a woman that I met a few months ago for the first time and was incredibly impressed by her level of English. I was even more impressed when I found out how long she'd been living in the country and that she had a YouTube channel in English, Successful Living. This woman is a massive inspiration. She's a motivational speaker and she really wants to help you speak to an advanced level as she does. And one thing you will notice is she can speak very fast. So in a minute, Gamze from Successful Living is going to explain how she became an advanced speaker of English. She is fluent. She is one of the most fluent speakers I have ever met. We actually met at YouTube Space. She was also a winner, as Sabrah and I were, of Next Up Women to Watch. Gamze really is a massive inspiration, and I think her 5 tips on how to go from beginner to advanced are really going to help you boost your confidence and find a way to reach the level of English that most people want. Often you find that when you get to intermediate level and especially upper intermediate, you plateau. It means that the progress you are making feels a lot less, and often you may find that you, for a while, are making little progress, boosting your language up to that next level. Therefore, her 5 tips are really going to help you and make you realize that if you've got the motivation, the drive and the techniques, as well as some useful YouTube English teachers, then you really can become fluent in English and reach that advanced level. Don't forget to subscribe at the end of the video, not only to this channel if you haven't already, but to Gamze's channel on Successful Living, something that will inspire you, motivate you in whatever you are doing in your life. I also collabed with Gamze and you can watch another lesson over on her channel on my 7 tips to help you learn English. So, over to Gamze.
Hello Love English family, thank you so much for having me here, and thank you Leila and Sabrah for having me here to talk about my top 5 tips about speaking English. As you can tell, I'm not a native English speaker. I've never been to the US more than a week, and I've never lived in an English-speaking country before until I moved to the UK 8 months ago. So my English doesn't come from practice or living in an English-speaking country. These are the things that I did to understand a little bit better and to talk a little bit better, and I hope they will be helpful for you. My first tip is about listening. How do I understand people who talk really fast and in really complicated accents? And honestly, I think this is the easiest thing to do. I don't really try to understand every single word they use. I try to understand the most important words in a sentence. For instance, the verb. For instance, the object. For instance, the subject. I'm not trying to understand every single bit, but from these things, from especially the verb, I understand what the gist, what the general idea of the whole conversation or the whole sentence is, and that really helps. And the second thing about this is I ask a lot. I ask a lot what they mean, what they said, so I can understand what words they use, and I can learn actually new words. What I try to do the most is when somebody uses a sentence, I ask them to repeat it for me, or I repeat the sentence myself, excluding the words I didn't get, and I ask them to repeat those words. And I repeat the words afterwards 3 to 5 times to actually ask if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I practice 3 to 5 times in front of a person, the new word I've just learned, it kind of sticks better to my head. So I actually learn while listening to fast speakers. Number 2 is about accent. As you can tell, I have a slight American accent, and that only came from the fact that I listened and watched a lot of American TV. I'm not telling you to watch TV for 5 hours a day. This will not help you to get the accent you want. What helps is actually repeating after that person. So what I used to do when I was a little kid, I always listened, I paused, or if I didn't, I would just speak over them, and I tried to pronounce things as I heard them. For instance, I had a friend over here last week, actually, this is a very recent example, but she's British and she was talking about job. So she's using the word job and I'm pronouncing it as job. So in the meantime, while she was talking, I was repeating in my head, job, job, job. Job. So it kind of helps you to understand how each word is pronounced in each accent, and if you're inclining towards learning a certain accent, you can actually repeat those words after people, after watching TV or videos or Netflix or anything really that you enjoy watching at the same time. My third tip about learning English as a foreigner is about speaking. People always tell me that I'm very confident when I'm speaking English. They tell me that I sound like a native, and that's only because I'm not afraid of making mistakes. I do make mistakes because I learn from my mistakes. So when I talk, I don't think in my native language, I just think in English and I just say the words out. And if I'm making a mistake, I actually ask my friends to fix my mistake. So when I'm making mistakes, somebody would tell me, oh no, that's not pronounced that way, or the grammar is not really working that way. So I actually, again, use this as a learning opportunity instead of feeling shy or embarrassed or anything like that. This is the key, I think, to speak confidently and fluently. After you remove that barrier of criticizing yourself, I think you will be able to speak more fluently. And honestly, everybody knows that you're not a native speaker, so don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just talk as fluently, as fast as you can, and ask people that you trust with your English to fix you. Tip number 4 is about vocabulary. I actually have a really good tip for you guys. What I used to do when I was in middle school, I believe, was to learn 20 new words in a week. Of course, it was a part of my English class in middle school. Our teacher used to give us 20 words in the beginning of the week, and every Friday we would have a quiz from those 20 words. So every week we were learning 20 new words, but not just the word itself. We were learning the translation in our language, the meaning of that word in English, and how to use it properly in a sentence, so an example sentence. I think from these 3 things, the most important and useful thing to know is actually the meaning of that one word in English. Instead of constantly translating back and forth in your head, if you know the meaning of a certain word, it will be easier for you to include that in a sentence where it's needed. I think 20 words a week is a good place to start, but if you're too busy, you can try 5 to 10. You can put that list somewhere that you see every day. You can put it in your toilet, you can put it in your office, you can tape it on your desk every day, so you can practice that throughout the whole week. And in the end, you can ask one of your friends to actually quiz you from 5 of those. So it's basically like having an accountability partner for learning new words in English. And number 5 is how to find the motivation to learn English. This is my area. I love talking about motivation and success in general. I think it's super important to stay motivated when you're learning a new skill, especially learning a new language. Just like I said before, being confident is really important to stay motivated, but also if you have friends who are also trying to learn English with you, that will really help staying motivated because you can practice together. Somebody else is also going through that with you, so you can have some basically buddies to learn together, which you can help each other to stay motivated. When one of you feels, oh my god, it's not working, I'm not improving, the other one can lift you up. So that's a really good way to go. But I want to give you another tip as well. I'm sure you have some favorite English movies, some favorite English songs, some favorite English quotes or books or anything like that. For me, when I lack motivation in life in general, I have a stack of these things. Movies I love, quotes I love, songs I love, and I always go back to them and listen to them when I'm feeling a little down, if you know what I mean. So when you feel like you're unmotivated to learn English, go listen to that English song that you love so much and you can actually sing to. So you will feel better when you sing a song in English and you hear yourself able to sing, able to pronounce, able to remember the words. I think you will feel immediately motivated to speak more. So singing is really helpful and it's also fun. And I think having fun in this process of learning English will also help you keep motivated. So these are my top 5 tips about learning English. I hope they were helpful and thank you so much for having me here once again and hopefully see you back on my channel. Bye guys!
That was massively helpful, Gamze. Thank you so much. And of course, guys, like I said, go over to Gamze's channel now to watch my 7 tips on how to learn English. And don't forget to subscribe there. Make sure as well that you do comment below and share your suggestions. If you are an advanced speaker or upper intermediate speaker, you might want to share your tips with some of the other students here on YouTube. What did you do to become more fluent and advanced in English? And if some of you are struggling, why not ask questions below? You can use our comment section as a forum to share your tips, tricks, and suggestions for how to learn English. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.